traveling in retirement doesn't have to break the bank, but planning is key.
That's true. And we are on a trip to North Carolina. We're in Wilmington right now. You can see over our shoulders. We are in Wilmington at a hotel called the Ballast.
By Hilton. By Hilton.
By
It's
Hilton,
a Hilton
yes.
hotel.
Yes, a Hilton hotel called the Ballast. And we drove in about 3.5 hours from Columbia, South Carolina, West Columbia actually, and it was raining the whole way. I mean, just pouring down.
From entering the vehicle to exiting the vehicle.
Absolutely. And so we got here and we got checked in and everything was fine. Nice hotel, really enjoyed it. As you can see, we'll have some more video and some more information on it. We'll have a full video on our travel channel, Encompass Travel, and so we'll add a link to that at the end of this video. You may want to check that out. But we had made the plan to come here, and it's going to cost us about $1,500 all in with the tickets for the Jazz Festival. It's a 3-day festival, as well as the hotel. And I got to tell you, that's really low cost.
Well, we came in on Wednesday before the festival starts, and then we'll be here Wednesday and check out, and then we'll be here until Sunday and check out Sunday and go home. So that's 4 nights, and that's not bad.
No, that's actually a pretty good, a fairly low cost activity for us, a fairly low cost travel. We can afford that a few times a year and still not break the bank.
We also chose to get the Patron tickets. That gave us the assigned reserved seating. We didn't have to worry about where we were going to sit every evening. And also it gives us a Thursday evening jazz session event starting at 7:30. Which is really nice. That kicks everything off. And then on Saturday, there is a brunch with the musicians if you're a patron. And so we said, let's do that.
Right. And if you were a patron and you went to the brunch, you could have a jam session with them if you're a musician.
If you were a musician, you can join them. That would be great.
Neither one of us really are. I mean, you play the piano.
Yeah, but not jazz.
But not jazz.
Maybe the waltz.
Right. And I have always aspired to play an instrument. I do sing a little bit though, right? Which we may have a video of.
Right. He's a crooner.
Yes, I'm a crooner. That's right. I was named after Dean Martin. Right. So Dean Morgan, you get it, right? So in retirement, we don't have to do these expensive things, right? And we're not going to do activities that are at $1,500 for a 4-day trip all the time because we can't afford it. So there are a lot of free activities that you, as a retired person, when you get into retirement, and even pre-retirement, you want to start planning to do these things so that you kind of get into the rhythm of what retirement might feel like, right? So some of those that you can do involve health and outdoors, right? So maybe you want to go with a walking group. You want to go walking in the park, or you want to go down to the river, right? Whatever your local outdoors is that's available, you want to try and do that.
There are a lot of those activities in the area that we live. There is the zoo. They have Free Fridays sometimes. They have the botanical gardens. There are groups that are kind of bird watchers. They follow different species. There are walking groups, especially near the dam and downtown. And so in your area, find those groups. It's very easy to assess them. You just go out there and Google near me, what's near me.
And I think our community has a free yoga class that's available as well.
There are yoga class, exercise, activities every month, and maybe more than every month, in our clubhouse, the gatherings to get people together. And as I'm walking our dogs, I see lots of people walking and out.
And then the public library. That's a gold mine of activities. They have activities at the public library all the time that are free.
I will give a shout out to my friend Mitzi. She is spectacular in finding things for us to do that are free and low cost, and that way we can do more of them and just enjoy having a good time. And Dean's right, the local libraries are a plethora of free things to do, and having lots of events and activities for all ages, but especially for retirees.
And then you think about to fill your time in retirement. A lot of people talk about how much time there is in retirement. You didn't think that it would be as much time as it was. But once you stop working, you really have a lot of time to fill in. So maybe you want to take some free online courses, maybe from Coursera or edX. You can audit for free, or hey, we're on YouTube. You can either make YouTube videos like we're doing, or you can watch YouTube for different things that you want to learn about. And I think that's really a great way to use it.
I will add one more thing. Your local university, if you are near your local universities, you can audit classes when you're 60, after 65 and older. You audit classes and it costs you nothing to audit the classes. Except for your books, if that's what you want to do. And I don't know that the program allows you to have any credits, but as long as there's room in the classes at the University of South Carolina, for example, where we live, you can audit classes. I think that's fabulous.
Absolutely. And it gives you a sense of purpose. It gives you something to do, something to enjoy, and you can be around younger people. When I went to college in the late 80s, the 90s, I was actually the oldest student in the class going back to get my bachelor's degree. And it was interesting because everyone wanted help from me, right? Like I knew everything, right? Which we probably know is not true, but it was enjoyable anyway. I enjoyed hanging out with younger folks to get there. So I think going to auditing classes may be something I want to do as well in retirement. And then we have, it's kind of a community and purpose kind of thing where you're volunteering. Maybe you want to volunteer at a food bank or a library or a museum, right?
Or a soup kitchen where they're serving.
Absolutely. Animal shelters. That's another one. Dog walking and so forth.
You can walk dogs, play with kittens. You can foster, but that's something that you could do.
The only thing I would warn you about that is I know my wife, and if she were to be going to the dog shelter all the time, we'd suddenly have a whole condo full of dogs. So I would
maybe
be careful. Be careful. Just be careful there, right? And then you have mentoring, right? So we're, as older people, you have something to say, you have something to give back to the community. And I think mentoring, especially, younger, like teenagers and so forth, in what they're going to experience and what you can help them understand about their growing up and what they're going to be doing. I think that's really important.
It is. Just like our granddaughter is so curious, and every time we're with her, she has the most interesting questions that we don't think about sharing because we've been through them. But some of these things are new to her, and she asked wonderful questions. So you could volunteer in your elementary schools to do reading. You could be a lunch buddy. You could do any kind of charitable work with your church. Always has things for you to do.
Yeah, faith and civic groups. That's true. Yep. And then I've mentioned before that I want to do some writing in my retirement, and so there's writing and journaling. Or, we're here at a jazz festival. Maybe you want to dust off an old instrument and start playing again, right? You haven't done it in a long time because you were working. You didn't have time to practice.
We have a friend who retired and joined a local band and is loving it. His wife loves it. He loves it. And they perform maybe every few months, more often, I think, in the warmer weather. But they perform at local gigs, and their friends come, and they've drawn quite a crowd. He loves it. He's a writer too. He writes, and he's also started playing in this band, and I think he's just loving his life.
Very talented.
Yeah.
Very talented.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you could do arts and craftings. So there's a lot of free or low cost, like sketching classes and painting classes, knitting or woodworking. Although, you know, woodworking requires more tools perhaps than, you know, you'd be able to do.
You could look again into the local libraries that teach you little things or small classes, like a couple of hours. And also, if you have a local technical college or a tech center, they also have very inexpensive classes and things like that. It's not to get an associate's or any kind of certificate. It's just kind of having fun, and it's low cost.
And, you know, on the woodworking side, something I've always wanted to do was wood burning, which is, I've got a toolkit for that, and I want to try and do that. It does require, you know, having some some windows open, because obviously when you're burning wood, it's creating smoke, and we don't want the smoke alarms to go off.
Scares older than in a car.
Yeah, when smoke alarms go off, they tend to get a little freaked out. And then you might want to go and do photography, right? And your phone is enough to do photography.
That's right.
The phones now have such great cameras in them. You can go out and really get some good shots.
You really can.
And then, you know, from a social perspective, you know, the senior centers have activities. They have meetup groups, game nights. I think ours has game nights and card
we
nights.
have like canasta and quarter poker, some kind of bingo thing goes on, and they also have a book club. It's the book, some kind of book of the month. We're so new there. I don't know everything, but I'm learning. So.
And I would suspect that they probably have potluck dinners occasionally and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Since, you know, we've moved into a condo, one of the things that Beth has been wanting to do is gardening, and you could do a container garden even in a condo. So, you know, I think that's one of those things that not only can improve your life, improve how you feel about your life, and being able to grow these work with plants, but also you can do vegetables, which will then improve your health and give you free food, right? So that is is two different ways that it kind of gets your life better.
Yeah, all you need is a tiny sunny window during the spring, somewhere that you can place a plant in a little pot and it'll grow.
And then another one is like family history projects, like Ancestry.
Yeah.
You may want to try Ancestry research. Most people our age would like to know more about their family backgrounds. Some know a lot about it, some not so much. My family has a very varied background, in that my mother was German, and so there's a lot of things I can't find out through the United States registry about my family. I'm still working to try and you know, find more about it. And then the other thing you can do is decluttering projects, which are surprisingly satisfying. Wouldn't you say, honey?
Sometimes. Most of the time, I do find that decluttering is an emotional journey a lot of times. But then when you just let it go, it is very freeing, very freeing.
So really, the happiest the happiest hours you spend are not necessarily the most expensive or that they require some sort of outlay, but rather that they're intentional. What do you want to do? What do you want to spend your retirement on? So I think if you build a routine and a community, that will go a long way towards building the kind of retirement you want to have. And that's what we've tried to build here at Less is the New Retired. I'm Dean.
I'm Beth.
And thank you for watching. And by the way, as a final note, please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks again for watching.
Bye.
Bye.